The Bible condemns homosexuality. You've heard this? I think that's wrong. Keep watching to find out why. Oh, and Calvin's going to be important. Let's examine the type of argument you'll have heard to say that the Bible condemns homosexuality. It usually takes the form of, this is X, the Bible condemns X, therefore we should condemn X. This is murder, the Bible condemns murder, therefore we should condemn murder. And who isn't against murder? Let's use a different example. Mortgages are a form of money lending. The Bible condemns money lending. Therefore we should condemn mortgages. Hang on a second, we don't. Have you ever heard a sermon against mortgages? Are mortgages denounced on Christian podcasts, Christian TV channels, Christian books? But why not? Mortgages are a form of money lending and the Bible condemns money lending. Well, the reason we don't is in part down to the great Protestant reformer, Calvin. Before the Reformation, about 500 years ago, the church pretty universally thought that money lending was wrong and always wrong, and they thought the Bible said that it was always wrong. Money lending, usury, was a mortal sin. You couldn't get a Christian burial if you lent money for profit. And this carried on into the Reformation. Martin Luther denounced lending money for profit. He saw it as wicked. But in the Reformation, lots of people began to question this. Lots of reasons for that to do with economic change. Anyway, a friend of Calvin's wrote to him asking him if lending money at interest could ever be okay. And Calvin wrote back saying, yes, in certain circumstances it might be. This was incendiary stuff. The letter itself remained private until a decade after Calvin's death. But how did Calvin reach this conclusion? His answer covered a range of areas. These include the authority of the Bible compared with interpretations of the Bible, the need to understand what the writings meant in their original context and to their original audience, that you need to look behind prohibitions to see what the purpose of them is, and also how does all this fit in with justice and love. In particular, Calvin recognized that the Bible's context and his context, 16th century Geneva, were radically different. The Bible was talking about money lending that was oppressive and harmed the poor, not businesses borrowing money to invest. In other words, what the Bible was talking about was different enough from what was going on in Geneva that in some circumstances it might be okay to lend money for profit. So that's why you don't hear sermons against mortgages. It might be money lending, but there's a big difference between usury, money lending that's oppressive, that feeds on the poor, that's wicked, and taking out a mortgage so you can make a large purchase and spread out the payments over a long period of time. So this is a pattern of argument we should use when we come to the Bible with questions about today's world. This is X, taking out a mortgage. The Bible condemns Y, usury. X and Y are similar. They both involve money lending. Do we then condemn X? Well, if they're different enough, not necessarily. Okay, so let's now apply this to the Bible and homosexuality. In Britain, there are committed, faithful same-sex marriages. The Bible condemns same-sex activity in its contexts. But how similar are the two? Is it like this, or is it more like this? Over a series of videos covering different parts of the Bible, I'll be showing you why I think it's the latter, why what the Bible is talking about is vastly different from what we're talking about today. If that interests you, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to find out more about Calvin and his attitude to money lending, you can go to the companion website bibleandhomosexuality.org. Thanks for watching.